So, I'll tell you the tale of how I became Superman.
Superman.
No, not really. I'm Diabetes Man. I found out I had diabetes about 6 months ago. I knew I had it before then, but I just didn't want to accept it. I was denying some pretty obvious signs. I just got busy thinking about other things in life and forgot to take care of myself, and this is the result. It runs in my family, so I know the symptoms. When it became clear to me was when I was at a movie with my fiance then, now wife. I was constantly going to the bathroom. I missed the majority of the movie, and it was just then that it really kind of dawned on me that I've been having these symptoms for a while. There was something wrong.
Diabetes is a disease is when your blood sugar is running high.
It's the body's inability to produce insulin. That's type 1. Type 2 is the body's inability to use the insulin that's produced.
To me, diabetes that answer has changed recently. Before, I always just thought of it as a disease you get if you're unhealthy. Diabetes, back when I was younger, it had effect on my life after my sister found out she had it.
I have had diabetes since I was 8. It was February 25th of 2002.
Our family as a whole started changing our diet, and by that I mean my mom made us change our diet. I know a couple of people who have diabetes because it runs in my family. My father has had diabetes 25 years since he got out of college, and he has type 2 diabetes because he was unhealthy. And then my sister has type 1 diabetes. She's had it since she was 8 years old, and that's basically a lifetime issue she's gonna have to deal with.
I have type 1 diabetes, dude. There's no cure for that. I will have this the rest of my life until they find a cure for this or I get a pancreas transplant. At this point, this is my life.
Yeah.
I can't do any damn thing about it.
Since I found out I have diabetes, it's really changed my life. My freshman year of college, when I went away to university, that's probably the best shape I've ever been in. And I think I got to that point, I got confident, thought I could maintain that, and I just didn't. I got busy with other things. I met my future wife at one of my jobs. Honestly, ever since I got with her, I think I was happy, which is good, but I was also just complacent. I got happy and I stopped worrying about my health. I just kept getting worse and worse to the point where I got diabetes. When I talked to Candy, I learned I had to take health classes. Candy went over that with me, which helped because there were some things that I had forgotten because I took that a while ago.
First thing I'll ask is, tell me what you like to drink. And if they start telling me that they drink a lot of regular soda or a lot of sweet tea or coffee with all sorts of sugar, that's the first place we can start to make changes. I try to identify maybe 1 to 3 changes a person can make because it can be really overwhelming.
Candy taught me small things like I don't have to completely cut out sugar or soda or things like that. Everything needs to be done in moderation.
The flexibility of carbohydrate counting and menus, they post things whether it's online or at the restaurants so you can make healthier choices even when you're eating out.
I want to learn from a person who has to deal with this on a daily basis.
Making sure I stick to my daily habits. As long as I stick to what I'm doing and I don't change things up too much change for me causes things to go haywire really fast because I can't control it. Just because if my life is going really fast and things are going out of control, I don't have time to take care of my diabetes. I'll lose focus about it.
Now that I've talked to her, I never really realized how big of an emotional impact this has had on her.
I mean, it's made me very organized and outgoing, and I don't know, it's made me who I am. It's my life, so.
Her entire life has been diabetes and dealing with diabetes.
So every morning I wake up, and tomorrow is the 14th, so I will open up this pill tab here, put these in my mouth before I go to work. This is my Omnipod, my wireless insulin pump. So this talks to a thing I wear that gives me insulin. This thing controls this little insulin pump I wear. This is that. So this is the other thing I wear. It's a Dexcom sensor. It's actually this little thing right here. Tells me 20 minutes out what my blood sugar is going to be, so I can correct before I go too high or too low. This gives me a unit an hour, so it keeps me level all day, as well as anytime I eat, I can put in what I'm eating, how many carbs kind of deal. It helps really a lot with that, so I don't have to do the calculations and math in my head.
I've learned that I can't take this lightly. This disease is serious and I need to be serious about combating it.
Dude, it sucks, but you gotta deal with it, so fucking deal with it. I mean, what else are you gonna do? You can't fucking hide from it. I try to think of it as more of a lifestyle, something I have to do. Just make the option that there's not a next time. This is the only time you have to do it.
I'd say from my mom, I learned raising your kids around this change of diet and change of lifestyle, that it affects her too, and it's a part of her life even if she doesn't have to directly deal with it.
It's been a struggle, especially the juvenile onset, because there's not a whole lot you can do except accept it, which is a hard thing to do. With later in life diabetics, like my son, it's hard because I know it's going to take a big lifestyle change, and is the ability there to do that.
I want to use her as, I guess, a bit of a role model to know how I can do this when I have kids.
It's hard. You worry a lot. When she was 8, I was in control until she was about 12. Regulated what she ate, how she took her insulin, that kind of stuff. Then it got to those teen years, going away to school. That was hard for me to make sure that she was safe. When I took her down and talked to all her roommates, I said, I don't care what's going on. If she needs help, call 911 and I'll pay your lawyer bill or whatever thing you might get in trouble for, because I wanted them to know that it was okay if she was going to drink, just to feel okay to go ahead and call for help. July of this year, when your sister took too much insulin, that was the worst for me, because she has an easy way to kill herself, and she knows it.
It has affected her being someone who doesn't have it but has to deal with it on a daily basis. Because I know now that I have it, my wife is going to have to deal with this on a daily basis because I do. I've always known how much Sarah helps me. I just realized that this is part of her life now too. Now, since I've gotten it, I've realized I actually need to do something about it. It's kind of had some positive effects, and it's made me actually start to change my diet. I'm still working on exercising more. I've gotten on a whole bevy of different medications that my doctor's given me, which has been helping for sure. My advice for people who are in a situation like me, where they've just found out about diabetes, this has become a part of their life, understand that it's a part of you now. You have to embrace it. It's not easy, and it's not going to be fun sometimes, but it's better for you in the long run if you do it and not ignore it. Honestly, having someone to talk to really helps. That's what I've realized. Talking to anyone that understands what I'm going through, it really helps. Having someone who knows what they're talking about is a great resource, and you should absolutely utilize it.
I would highly recommend a support group. You got to get as much information as you can about it, but I also think you need the support of other people who have to get control of your diabetes.
My advice for people who don't have diabetes and want to avoid it is stay active, honestly. All of those cliche things like knowing your portion sizes, you should be having more food in smaller amounts. Stay out there, stay active, do things you find fun.